Hello there, welcome on board to my YouTube channel. In this particular video, first thing you should notice is the background, and then you can see that I'm currently located at the place where clothes are spread. In Nigeria, we call this backyard. Most of the people who spread their clothes spread it in the backyard, and I have to shoot my video here today because of number one, there is no tripod. Number two, there is no one to help me hold it, which I would say a video personnel. I mean, if I wanted to shoot up, but then I have to do this video no matter what. And in later times, I might take this down and do a more complex video that would explain what I'm about to teach you, right? So leave the background and just focus on my face, right? I think that's better so that you won't get distracted. Let's pass the message across. And the message is simple: balance, gaining balance. A lot of times I've gotten these questions from young persons. Excuse me, sir, how do I attain balance? How do I major in school, in spiritual life, and then at the same time social life, and at the same time my financial life? How do I make money? You hear questions like this over and over. How do you cope with having a skill? How do you cope with having a talent? How do you cope with going to school, doing a very complex course, and all of that? Well, to answer this, I'm going to start with listing what I do. Number one, I am a graphics designer and a full-time graphic designer at that. Yes, I'm a graphic designer. I design flyers, brand identity, and the rest. If you want to find out more about that, you can always hit me up on WhatsApp. My contact should be somewhere in the description below. Number two, I am a full-time student. Yes, I'm currently in the university as of the time of recording this video, which is June 1st, 2023. I am currently a 300 level student of anatomy in the University of Ilorin, Nigeria. And if you go to Nigerian universities, you know how tiring and stressful it could be. As a matter of fact, I just finished a 30 days YouTube video challenge in the midst of exams. Yes, in the midst of exams. So I was having exams back to back. At the same time, I tried my best not to miss any of those days. And in all of those 30 days, I missed just 3 days. I'm going to be sending a more complex report on that through another video, which you'll find in this channel. Before we proceed, remember to hit the subscribe button. Right, let's move on. I am the founder of Varsity, which spans across countries in Africa and even outside of Africa, and we have 1,000 plus and counting members online, and we run physical events, we run online events weekly. I teach almost every week online. I show up daily on my WhatsApp status. I sell programs. I teach designers. I coach designers. I coach people on self-confidence. I do so much. Now, I am not telling you this to intimidate you. No. As a matter of fact, you should do it less. You should do it less because it starts with less, then it goes to more, right? So, even as you do more, one of the first things that I would say is that umbrella things. Number one is umbrella things. If you find out that you have so much you can offer to the world, you have so much you can give, you should umbrella those things. What am I saying? Is that, for example, you find out that you're a graphic designer, you love video editing, you love flyer design, you love video editing, you love to create voiceovers and all of that, which I do. Umbrella everything under graphic designer. So number one, I am a graphic designer. In this, I can edit videos. In this, I can create flyers. In this, I can do full-time brand identity. In this, I can do social media designs, ads, etc. I can even run ads, copywriting, all of that. I placed it under the umbrella of graphic designing, right? Number two is I'm a student studying anatomy. That's another umbrella, right? But the world doesn't really even care. People don't even want to know what you're studying. So just leave school out of the equation. When I'm saying leave school, I'm saying when you're introducing yourself, right? Not that drop out. No, don't drop out. I'm going to teach you how to balance everything. Number three is, okay, I'm a Christian. I love God. I love teaching people how to grow through the scriptures, through self-confidence and all of that. Okay, let's call myself a personal development coach. So I put all that under personal development coach. It sounds a little bit vague. There is no particular thing I'm training on. For example, you would call me a confidence coach because I'm good at that. You would call me a life coach because I'm good at that. You could call me a relationship coach because I'm good at that also. So why not just umbrella everything under personal development? Because everything is in line with personal development. As a matter of fact, the fact that I teach graphic design is also under personal development, right? So that is me umbrella in, if that's a word, things. So umbrella things. Now, let's get to balance. This video, I do not want it to be long. I want it to be short, but at the same time, I must break down things for you to understand. Now, the very first mistake you make in attempting to get balance is that you believe you have too many lives, and that is wrong. You have just one life, and your life is spiritual. That's fine now. The only life you have is a spirit life. That's let's agree that. Let's agree on that, right? So you require to feed your spirit. This is where you go to church, you do the necessary things, you pray, you read the word, you study, right? That is you. Now, other aspects of your life would be your finances, your social conversations with people, your social relations, your academic relations, how you relate to your academics, and all of that. Not the idea that you have so many lives, my spiritual life, my financial life. You have just one life. You are you, and that you lives off the basis of your spiritual foundation, which is where you pray, you study, and you fast, and you do the things that you need to do in order to improve your Christian walk, right? Or as it may be. Now, moving on, rest of all this video is going to be channeled towards what I call priority. You see, balance is not about equality of activities, it's about priority of activities. Everything cannot be equal. That's why many people miss it. They feel like, okay, I'll read one chapter of the Bible, I'll read one chapter of my book, I'll read this, I'll read that, I'll do this, I'll do that. You would confuse yourself. It's all about priority. Well, the first thing that should take priority is your work with God, even before your academics. Now, when I'm saying your work with God, I'm not saying that go and start church in the school. No. Now, I also lead the class prayer in my school, and it has never for once affected my study in school. Now, how do I do it? I pick a time for things. You time things. This is how you fix priorities. Time things. This is how you fix priorities. Number one, I time it. Okay, on Wednesdays only, that's when we have class prayer. So by Wednesdays 1 p.m., I shut down every other thing I have to do, and I have to go for class prayer. Now, if I have a church rehearsal or something that I have to do, and it's during exam time, what I do is that I read so well before that time comes. So, for example, I have to be in a meeting by 6 p.m. I make sure that the whole day I use it well enough I utilize it well enough to read my school books. I read my school books like crazy. I may not come online because I have an exam the next day and I have to be in church, right? You see, we need to stop this. Okay, I think that's another teaching entirely. So I won't go there. I wanted to talk about devotion to the gospel, but I won't go there. That's another thing on its own. So, what about now? You might be wondering, what am I doing? I'm coaching you already. This is personal development coaching. But back to what we were saying. You need to set priorities. You need to time things. So, priorities, what takes priority most in your life? That's what determines. If it's your spiritual work with God, no. Now, this is where you shouldn't get things too mumbled up. Now, if you check the way things are, the way your schedule is, and you see that if you go for that service, you might not make it enough time to read, then I want you to attend it online. If you cannot attend it online, ensure you do not miss your prayer times. I see people miss their prayer times, their study times because of exam. I'm like, hello? No. You don't do that. Balance is in parity. It's not in equality. You can't equate your spiritual work with your academics. Definitely, your spiritual work takes higher advantage. However, you also need to be the best in your class. You also need to be very good in what you do, whatever it is you're doing. But then this is where priority comes in, and that you set times. And this is where the secret is. The secret is in your routines. Do you have daily routines? If you don't even have, that's why you have zero balance. You need daily routine. So for in the morning when I wake up, I make sure I settle the spiritual part. I pray, I study the word, I do my thing. Then I go to class. All right, finish class. I come back. I'm tired, but then I know I have to be online. So I go ahead, check my books. Okay, what have I planned for today? All right, today I need to post something on WhatsApp. I post that thing on WhatsApp. I leave WhatsApp. I try to read a chapter of the book. I try to read something, and I learned today in class. All right. You have to time things. Balance is in priorities and timing. You time things according to their priority, right? You don't time things because you just want to time things, because they say time management. No, you time things according to priority. While you're washing the plates, and you see, I see a lot of people say because of school they're dirty. No, no, bro, you're just dirty. It's not because of school. You're just dirty. You need to fix that. You need to work on balance. Balance is all about setting priorities right. Pick your priorities. If I'm doing this, I won't do this. If I'm doing this, I won't do this. I can never give this for this. It's like calling a lady when I should be reading for exam the next day. I have an exam by 8 a.m. and a lady wants me to call her by 11 p.m. I will not call her. Priorities. My priority determines that time I should be reading, or better still, doing something that is worth more priority than her. Now, it doesn't mean that she isn't important to me or she isn't important to us. What it means is that at that particular time, there is something else that requires more attention than her. And if she is understanding, she won't stress you. But if she isn't, so balance is all about priorities and time management. So I don't want you to equate things. Don't feel like, okay, I need to be making money at the same time making my spiritual life. Balance it that everything stems out of your spiritual life. Because I see people do things, funny things. You shut down, you don't read, you don't pass exams, and then you're praying every day. You go for 12 hours. You see, you should not go for 12 hours if you have an exam and you know you've not read jack. Wisdom teaches that you read, because the Bible says study. I believe if you're spiritual enough, these things will be evident to you. You can't say you are too spiritual not to read the scriptures, not to read for school book. No. It says study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman and not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Yes, it's talking about the Bible, but bro, you need to understand your own school books too. Daniel understood the history by books, and you're studying history, you're not reading books. You go fail. So it is important that you set a balance to things. How? By prioritizing things. Now, all throughout school times, you can have your fun, plan your program. This is why I never plan major events during exam times. No, I plan my major events, my teachings, my major teachings during times when I do not have exams. And for times when I see that I have exams, probably the next, and I must teach, and it cannot be excused. What I do is I ensure that hours before that time I read enough, or then I sacrifice my night sleep to read for school. So balance requires priority. Let's start again. Balance requires that you umbrella things, you prioritize things, you time things, and then that you also sacrifice things. There's no balance without sacrifice. There is no balance without sacrifice. You have to sacrifice some things to have balance, and you have to prioritize some things to have balance. You have to time some things. I believe that this short video maybe it's not short, but I believe that this video has helped you to move on to the next phase of your life where you can start achieving balance. And let me tell you, it doesn't start at once. You have to take your time to understand yourself, your flow, how it helps you. Maybe you read better in the day, then you know you have to fix your reading routines into the day. If you read better at night, you know you have to fix your reading routines into the night and ensure you still get a good amount of sleep. My name is Ademola. Remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell button, or what, I don't know how to say it, but just subscribe and turn on the notification so that you get every video that comes next. Thank you very much for subscribing. I love you. You love me. That's why I'm subscribing. Subscribe. Oh, before I go, if this video has helped you, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if you have other tips that other people can try out to gain or attain balance, or let me know something that you do personally that helps you to gain balance. Cheers.